In fourth, I've got my boy Jason Statham in Transporter 2. If there's a Transporter film, it's going in. That's just the way it has to go. In third, I've got The Island. Remember that, guys? Scarlett Johansson and Ewan McGregor? Yeah, boy. Batman Begins in second. And I, in first place, surprising my dad doesn't have this in his list, it is Tommy Cruise in War of the Worlds. It's a bit of a love and hate. Some people don't like it. I love it. It's right up my street disaster movie. I'm in. So there you go. I've got a few sort of indie ones people won't know much about. A few little franchises in there, a bit of Tommy Cruise, and some love to my guy Jason Statham. So just anything surprise you? Obviously, you've highlighted four that you haven't. Wait, five you haven't seen. But any surprises in there? I don't feel like there's any surprises, but you might feel different.
I don't feel like there's any surprises as far as what movies, but I guess it's hard to say. I haven't seen half of your list. So I know we've talked about War of the Worlds before, and I was just meh about it. I know of the transponder movies. Obviously, Batman fan. Love The Island, love Star Wars, but your last three, yeah. I mean yeah. I'm glad you're giving them some love. I have not heard of them. I was looking them up a little bit in the background, and yeah, I'm sure it is a great list representing you as you describe them. It doesn't sound like anything outside of what I would
Mhm.
expect.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. I mean, the bottom two I'm going to talk about anyway, so that'll hook you up. And I can't decide out of War in the Worlds or Transport 2 which one to do. I think everyone knows what War of the Worlds is at this point, so maybe Transport 2, which is a very, very basic storyline. It won't take much. Right. Hard Candy. So it's time to get a bit serious here, guys, because this is a really serious movie. So it was released in January 25th, 2005, of course, and it stars Elliot Page, Patrick Wilson, Sandra Oh. So it's a small lineup. Um,
Mm.
67% on tomato meter and 70% on popcorn meter. So this is Haley, a precocious teenager who goes into a coffee shop to meet Jeff, the photographer she met on the internet. Jeff thinks he is in for a real treat, but Haley plays a trick on him after drugging Jeff and tying him down. Haley reveals that she knows Jeff preys on teenage girls and she has a plan to wring a confession from him. So this is really serious stuff, and
Mm.
it's insanely uncomfortable to watch. But do you know why it's important to watch? We talked about United 93 last time. This is obviously slightly different, but it's just heartbreaking to think of the world of paedophilia. And it was just that I'm getting a bit emotional about it. I'm welling up a bit because it was so hard to watch, but I wanted to watch it because it's really cathartic. Like all the pain that I feel for all these poor girls and boys, obviously, especially in the in the church system that we've come to learn about. It was really cathartic, even though it's nothing to do with my life. I hope that makes sense. It's kind of like I needed it. I needed to watch this for all of the victims of this kind of thing. I think Elliot
Mm.
Page is the performance is just out of this world. And it was so powerful and so uncomfortable. I wasn't doing it for any entertainment whatsoever. I was doing it because I needed the cathartic support of all those young women. Does that make sense, Jess? It's a really weird dynamic to go into when you watch these things.
Yeah, I think that's when there are really hard and serious topics, being able to say, um, almost like a validation, like it's a movie of validating what has happened and the feelings and things through all all the different stories, especially this one. I mean, this one I haven't particularly seen, but that's what it seems like. It's just like, wow, like this is a movie that is showcasing and telling the story that I think is it sounds like a really powerful story. It sounds like one that's hard to watch, like you said, but yeah, very, very validating of
Yeah.
experiences.
Yeah. Obviously, there's a
Mm.
bit sort of tortures him a bit and gets him to eventually confess to everything. So, anyway, I'll leave it there. Bit
Mm.
somber, but really important. I'm not going to not have it on my list when it was so impactful. Right,
Mm.
whew, let's go to Green Street, which couldn't be any more different to what we've just discussed. So, this stupid little film that I love, with 46% from the Tomato Gang, but 87% from audiences. So take that, Rotten Tomatoes. The audience knows best. So this stars, let's see, just it's loads of, oh, Charlie Hunnam. Yeah, he's gone on to do great stuff. Claire
Hmm.
Forlani, Mark Warren, Leo Gregory, just sort of lower end British actors, and Elijah Wood as the token American. Why not? So, American journalist, student Matt Buckner, played by Elijah Wood, moves in with his sister and her family in London. There he meets a football hooligan, Pete Dunham, Charlie Hunnam, who introduces him to the rough tribal world where supporters of opposing teams battle each other before and after games. But Pete's lieutenant, Leo Gregory, suspects Matt's motives are inadvertently reopens a years old rivalry between Pete's brother and the leader of the rival gang. So yeah, there's like history between the two gangs. So there's a bit of depth in there. But Elijah Wood sort of gets caught up in the football hooligans. So these football hooligans to say it was like Man United and Liverpool. So they meet up before a game on some random quiet street and basically just beat the shit out of each other. It's completely stupid, and it's actually happens in real life. I don't get the point of it. I don't care if it's cathartic. It's really dumb and completely unnecessary for these two groups of men just to beat the crap out of each other because why not? It's so stupid. But the film just sort of articulates it quite well. And Elijah Wood's just like this little skinny young guy who they're sort of teaching him how to fight and stuff. It sounds really stupid, but I don't know. It's just a well put together movie. It's so British, and I know yes, important. They break each other's legs for a game. Yeah, it's very very important. So I have no, to be honest, I don't know why it's in my list. To be honest, I just really liked it. And Elijah Wood was great in it. He was like, "What's going on?" So Jess, I'm suspecting on a list of films you're going to watch, this would be probably 722nd on the list. Would I be right?
That sounds pretty close. Yeah, I'll check my numbers. I do think it would be pretty entertaining to just like imagining Elijah Wood being on a football team um, is interesting, but seeing him like scrappy and getting into a fight or something, I think that casting the dynamics, I'm sure is pretty good to watch alone. But yeah, very interesting. And like you said, some of it has ties to stuff that really happens. But yeah, what an interesting.
Where the heart is. Where the heart is rock.
Shine, doing what I've shown. Never be, never see. Won't see what might have been. What I felt, what I've known. Never shine, doing what I've shown. Never never free, never me. So I dug the They dedicate their lives to running all of hills. He tries to please them all. This bitter man hails throughout his life the same. He's battled constantly. This fight he cannot win. A tired man they see no longer cares. The old man they prepares to die regretfully. That old man is me. What I felt, what I've known, never shine doing what I've shown. Never be, never see, won't see what might have been. What I felt, what I've known, never shine doing what I've shown. Never free, never me. So I dug the shine doing what I've shown. Never be, never see, won't see what might have been. What I felt, what I've known, never shine doing what I've shown. Never free, never me. So I dug the unforgiven. This world has only one sweet moment set aside for us.